Just one day in life so I can understand. Fighting just to survive, but you taught me I can. We are the lucky ones. We are. Oh, we are the lucky ones. We are.
What's going on, everyone? This is Zach with StrictlyShisha, and I got my buddy here.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Oscar, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Zach.
Brought my buddy here, Oscar, to join me for this review. So Oscar's a very smart guy, and this is a very scientific hookah. We actually went to school together, both studied biology and chemistry at Georgia State. So I brought my fellow scientist here to get to the bottom of this hookah and tell you guys a little more about it.
All right, so we got a special review today. When I mean special, I mean, like, I'm excited, because Zach called me and said, hey, let's do a quick review. I said, sure. What obscure brand from Hookah John did you order this time? Because he's always doing these obscure craft brands. But today he said, no, we're going to review the Prometheus. And man, like, I'm on the hookah forums, I'm on the Facebook groups,
People are talking about this. They are asking me. I get comments daily on my videos. When are you going to do the review of the Prometheus? Does it work? Tell us a little more about it. So then Oscar sent me some articles, because he's on Reddit as well. And a lot of people talking about the science behind this hookah. So we'll first get into the quality and the design and tell you guys what's so special about this hookah. So the Prometheus hookah is by a company called HQ Hookah. I believe they're out of Arizona. And it's a hookah that's made out of very high quality materials. I believe they use 3 different metals in this. They use a surgical grade stainless. They use some sort of aerospace grade aluminum and another grade of stainless that they claim is good for surgical processes and also implants and things like that. Either way, it's made out of high quality stuff. If they use it in implants or not, doesn't really bother me. I'm not inserting this into my leg or anything. It is a screw off design. It does come off in 3 pieces, and the threading on this is super beefy, and I'm not really worried about it cross threading. This is a hookah that I've been willing to bring to Oscar's house. I'm taking it on the road with me. I've unscrewed it, I've screwed it back together, and the threads so far have been really perfect. I don't have to worry about cross threading at all. It's a very nice design, and you felt this. This was very heavy, right?
It had a really nice weight to it, and I felt it. I mean, like, wow, this is almost as heavy as my mini KM.
And his KM is pretty heavy. It's one of the all brass KMs, and so comparatively, it is a very, very high quality and heavy piece. Oscar was very amazed by the design. And so for $249, you can pick this up from hookahjohn.com, and it comes with just the stem and the tray. And John actually has a clip of him in his own video sitting on this tray. And John is a full-size, grown man, and he puts all this weight on a tray on the edge of a table, and it does not bend. I mean, it's a very, very nice tray. It's a good size to catch coals, and just a good productive size. So what do you think about it so far, and your initial impressions and all the things that you've read?
Well, I mean, when I first saw it, I really liked the design. I really liked the whole...
How do you like this color? You mentioned it.
I like it.
Dude, it's sick.
Yeah, I like the little smoke color. I have something like it, and I really love the color. I think it really complements some stuff. If you ever want to do like a nice dark base, or if you have like this aluminum beehives, I think it really complements stuff like that. I always love dark colors on hookahs.
Yeah, the finish on this is really nice. And like I said, I've beaten this thing around, I've thrown it in my trunk a little bit, and I mean, the finish has held up. It's going to be a piece that really lasts you. It comes in 3 different colors. It comes in a silver, this black gunmetal-ish color, and exclusively through Hookah John, you can get the gold one that has his name on the tray, and that gold one looks pretty sick. But I'm pretty happy with this black one. I mean, when you pair this with a beautiful base, this is definitely going to be a statement piece. So in terms of the quality of this piece, this is definitely a high-quality piece. All of the ports on this are really nice open gauge. They talk about how the Purge port and the hose port are the exact same size. The exact same diameter on both holes, and this is supposed to help with the airflow.
One of the things I actually really like about this hookah is the Purge. Now they say it has a self-locking mechanism.
Whatever that means. They just say it's balls deep.
But one of the things I really like is when you purge, you don't hear a sound, you don't hear the rattling. It performs really well. You can tell the smoke. You can look at the smoke coming out, and it will go into 3 different directions, and it's nice and even. I really like the Purge. It purges really nicely.
Can you purge in one breath?
Yeah, I can say you could.
Yeah. It's a very functioning purge. In terms of self-locking ball bearing, it's supposed to prevent air leaks because you don't require a pull to actually lock that ball back in. I don't know if that really makes a difference to me because the ball is so deep in there and I'm going to pull anyway, so I won't actually have air leaks. But either way, the Purge works very, very well, and I like the design of the Purge. It reminds me of the deepness of the Starbuzz Purge ball in there. So it's a very functioning Purge. And the next big thing about this thing is the actual pressure system that they've designed.
So what's going on with this pressure system? I understand you were telling me
Dude,
that...
we were talking about this for a while, and I've actually consulted some engineers in the hookah industry, and I won't mention their names, but some other brands and other engineers of other products, great products that have come out in the market, and they've been asking me about this product and what I've thought about it, and a lot of other enthusiasts. I know Hookah Frank has one, and he used it. A lot of other people have been testing this out, and this pressure system is pretty advanced for a hookah system. The days where you just get a pipe and it's just a down stem and you know, this is pretty advanced stuff.
You think you can explain it to me real quick?
I think I can kind of explain it to you, and you're going to help me out, right?
I'll try.
Okay, so the whole idea behind this hookah is creating a pressure gradient, okay? A difference in size from the top of the port. This port here is very, very large in comparison to the downstem. And this change in size creates a pressure gradient, which is supposed to change the way the smoke flows through the hookah and create more dense and flavorful smoke.
Now, what you guys may not know is that when you take an inhale, you actually make a pressure change in your lungs. So when you create that volume to fill your lungs, you're trying to fill up that volume. And you want, I guess, the denser smoke so you can get the bigger clouds. And so they basically developed a way where they can get denser smoke to the bottom of the base and fill your lungs.
And that's supposed to do with something with the mass flow theory, and someone was also trying to explain that to me, and just the rate of how the smoke flows down through the chamber and how it collects in the base. And in addition with the fact that there is a gradient in the actual size of the stem itself and how it tapers down, inside this middle part here, they actually have some laser etchings, which is supposed to alter the flow of smoke when it travels down through the stem, and it's supposed to swirl the smoke and slow it down, and then speed it up again when it gets to the smoother parts. And that change in rate is supposed to cause more dense smoke. And this is just a theory, and there's a lot of people online trying to debunk this theory, comparing to water pressure hoses and their own at-home bro science theories. But how does it practically work? In theory, everything works, right? All these people have these great ideas. And the owner of this company is actually I think he's an aeronautical engineer or a rocket scientist or some high-grade scientist. So now we told you about the actual theories behind this hookah, but let's tell you how it practically works. And that's why I brought Oscar here, to give you a difference of opinion. I've done a lot of months of testing on this product and tell you guys my tested opinion of this and Oscar's first look at it.
Alright, so on my first inhale, I could definitely notice the restriction. You know, I've smoked some wide open hookahs before, and you can definitely tell the restriction on your first breath. You know, and I think on my first breath, I had a nice thick cloud come out of it. Which is weird, because a lot of times on my cam, you know, I have to wait a while for my bowl to heat up before I can get some nice thick clouds. And apparently this pressure system is actually kind of helped me get some nice thick clouds in the beginning.
So you mentioned the word restriction, and restriction is the actual feeling of pulling smoke into your lungs, right, and how easy it is to draw. So when you say restriction, what do you mean by that? Do you feel a restricted draw with this? Is it an enjoyable restriction? Is it too much for your liking?
I definitely feel the restriction, and you know, it definitely takes you a while to breathe in the smoke, but not too long. But the restriction is definitely to my liking. It's not too hard to pull. It's honestly, you feel the restriction, but it feels like the smoke is coming in faster than what you'd expect from a restricted draw. And you smoke restricted hookahs, it takes you a while. You have to take a nice deep breath to get that nice cloud. This one, I don't take as long breaths. I feel the restriction.
That's exactly why I think that this hookah works practically. All theories aside, there is a little bit of restriction in this hookah when you pull. Okay, and that's even with the water level just about an inch above the downstem. In the most open setup with a Goodfellow bowl and a Cloud Lotus, there is just the slightest bit of restriction in those circumstances. But what I've noticed is, and this is how I can tell that the smoke is more dense, even though there's more restriction, the pulls that I have to take are a lot shorter. If I was to smoke an equivalent hookah without this pressure system, with the same amount of restriction, I would have to pull a lot longer to get the same volume and density of smoke. So even though there's a little bit of restriction, I don't have to pull as long. And that's how I see that this hookah practically works in my smoking experience. And the owners of this hookah and other engineers have also confirmed that if you smoke this hookah with a more restricted bowl, you'll get better results because you, I guess, reduce the amount of work. And I don't really understand that whole part, because for me, I think that you'd want to have the most open bowl and it would taper down. But they've explained to me that you want to have a more restricted bowl, so something with foil today like we're using is supposed to work the best. But honestly, I've actually smoked this with the Lotus and a Goodfellow bowl, and there was very, very minimal amount of restriction, and I was ripping huge clouds. So I can safely say that both with a more restricted bowl like we've packed today, or with something like the Lotus where there's very minimal restriction, I'm still getting much denser clouds than I would with a hookah of this equivalent pull without the pressure system. So practically I can say that I believe this pressure system works. And it took me a long time to come to that conclusion because I really questioned the theories behind this hookah and how it would work. And I put it through a lot of sessions to come to that conclusion. But I can say based off my results and the density of smoke that I'm able to achieve that the Prometheus hookah works as advertised. And along with the pressure system, you are getting a very, very high quality piece. And Oscar, why don't you talk about what you thought about the quality? Because you've seen a lot of hookahs on the market now. You've had the experience with multiple KMs. He's seen my vast collection. He knows what I'm working with. So if I'm willing to show this piece off, I mean, how's the quality in your opinion?
So yeah, I smoked out of a Regal, the Starbucks stems, and I gotta say for $250, you're getting a very high quality product. And I can just tell by the finish that they took their time. But if you look a little closer, which Zach will, in the threading and in the razor sharp design and the grooves, like the finishes, you can definitely tell they put in some high-end engineering into creating this, and you get a really nice product. And definitely from the finish and the way it comes apart, I don't see it ever like really breaking, and I wouldn't expect it to. A lot of times when you see these other hookahs,
no one likes hookahs that have screwable parts and modular hookahs because everyone is worried about the fact that they will rust or corrode or you'll cross thread them when you're a beast like me and you have no patience. We'll cut out right now to these threads. These are some beefy looking threads and I am not worried about them cross threading. And Oscar mentioned the finish and the razor edges. All of the pieces on this are very, very nicely done. And there's a lot of attention to detail. These are not some kids who threw this together in a garage. This is a lot of high engineering work and people with a lot of experience who put this product together. And we talked about how there is a gradient in size, right? And it comes from the larger piece to the bottom. And did you see how big that top piece was?
yes, and it's almost twice big.
I mean, it's huge. So I'll cut it right now to a picture of the top in comparison to other common hookahs on the market. And as you can see, this Prometheus top is much larger on the bowl port compared to other hookahs on the market. And on the flip side, if you compare the downstem is actually quite small in comparison to the top. And if you're going to compare it to a KM downstem or even a Starbucks downstem or a Regal, you can see the size difference. And with this downstem this small, you'd expect a lot more restriction than you're actually getting. And for this size downstem, there is very minimal restriction from this.
Well, one of the things I actually liked when you take it apart and you look at the holes from the downstem and up top is the quality is unbelievable. They're perfect circles all the way through. You can definitely tell they weren't lazy when they were creating this different radius in the holes from the top and the bottom, and it's just really nice.
One thing I think a lot of people criticize though was the fact that you cannot shorten this hookah. And the whole point of having this unscrewable pieces is to clean it. And I actually really like that this piece comes unscrewed to clean it. It is very easy to unscrew this, get it underneath a normal sink, and get everything washed out so you can get the most clean sessions possible. And I really like that aspect. I find myself cleaning this hookah more than I find myself cleaning other hookahs because I don't have to shove a stem brush into this and like bend it, and I mean it's just a whole like crazy
No one
fiasco.
likes stem brushes. No one likes brushes that you take out in the water and soap splash all over you.
This is nice. You unscrew your little piece, you wash it out, you dry it. I mean it's very easy to clean. But you cannot skip this middle section here and bypass it like some other hookahs. Like my Shisha Kings BR, you can take out the middle section here and drop it down and make a short hookah. But they are coming out with a demigod, another Greek demigod or god. I'm not sure what the name of this guy is. Yeah, and it's going to be a shorter model. I'm not sure if I was supposed to mention that, but they are coming out with other models, also supposed to have the same pressure system in those. So it should be interesting to see how a shorter stem will perform because there is less area for that smoke to get dense. But in theory, it should work very well.
All in all, I'm very pleased. You know, for $250, the quality that you're getting, the smoke that I'm getting right now, I'd be willing to chuck it up, almost comparatively to the Regal or Starbucks.
He's cheap. And if he's willing to spend the money, it must be a shocker for him. And even when we cut out a second ago, we put on some fresh coals. Oscar's taking hits and he's like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
He is honestly very shocked by this, and it's hard to see on camera how amazed he is by this product. But he's ripping some clouds. I know he probably blows those little clouds on his KM because he doesn't know how to pack a bowl. And I'm packing a great bowl. And by the way, we are smoking a Trifecta BDS with a little bit of twice the ice. And you guys know I love Trifecta, and it always performs. But I feel like it's even more dense in this hookah.
One of the things I like about the hookah industry is that people are taking their ideas and they're experimenting and they're trying to make hookah or these stems or bases or bowls, they're trying to make them better. You know, that's how we got things like the Lotus. People are being innovative, and I really appreciate these guys who are trying to be innovative and trying to make a stem, even if some people don't notice the pressure difference.
Yeah. I mean, pressure system aside, you're getting a quality piece. But they became innovative and tried to push the limits of hookah and create something new and involve more science into just a standard copper pipe or brass pipe on the downstem and it's, I mean, it works. So I definitely like this piece. Thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you in my video, Oscar.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you guys for watching. You know, and I'd love to come back and smoke this hookah sometime. You know, maybe you could just leave it
You're
here.
not invited.
Okay, just leave it here.
Maybe I'll let you borrow it. But thank you guys as always. And if you guys have any questions about the theory behind this hookah, the pressure system, or anything else related to hookah, feel free to comment below or email me at strictlyshisha@gmail.com or find Oscar on Twitter or Instagram.
But thank you guys anyway. I love the channel, Zach, and I hope you keep putting out great content because I love watching your videos, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Take care, guys. Have a good night.